Today, I got a message on Reddit. Somebody had seen this old uh, toy character that I made for Nina, and they liked it, and they asked me if I could make them one. And I asked them if they wanted me to paint it, and they said to just give it to them like this because they think that their daughter would enjoy painting it. So I can't really tell here because of the lighting, but it has, print lines. So I'm going to sand those, and maybe I'll finish that tonight, and I'll show you in the morning and send it off. Hopefully it'll make somebody's daughter happy like it made Nina happy when she first got it. This guy's name is Capricorn. He's from a YouTube show called Astrolology. It has an extra Lolo in there. And most of the time I don't sand these anymore. I scrape them, which is why I have this here. So I use the edge to scrape off all of the points, and for the most part that works really well. You can kind of still see some here, but I'll do a bit more, and then maybe I'll do some very, very light sanding afterwards if it's still necessary. See here, you can see all of the lines, especially this seam that goes down the back. I'm going to smooth all that out. I'm not sure how well this is going to come up on the video because it's so white, but what I do here is I kind of like just cut these off, and you can see them popping up there. And I do that more on the harder to reach areas, like right here in this butt crease. But for the most part, I just use this slide that's not as sharp, and I use that to just scrape like this. You can see that seam right there is almost gone already. It is pretty late tonight, so I might end up doing this all tomorrow. When I do use the sharp side to cut, I guess I kind of know when to stop cutting, because I no longer see little tiny strips. So when I do this right now, I see the layers coming off in strips, and eventually that doesn't happen. And then when I'm reusing the blunt side, I guess, the non-sharp, the non-sticky side, the non-dangerous side, once it gets to a point where it's no longer scraping anything, it kind of like just smoothly slides. So I know that part is done. I mean, that and the visual indications. But when it's nighttime and I'm using artificial light, it's not as easy to see as when I'm doing it in the sunlight. And I think that this is a lot faster than sanding, and also I end up not hurting my fingers as much as sanding, which sounds weird because you would think I would hurt my fingers with this, but don't really poke myself. I don't put too much strength behind it, so even if I do slip and hit my hand, it doesn't cut me. And this is kind of an older blade, so it's not as sharp anymore. But when I used to sand, I would sand for so long that my fingers would get raw. And when I would go to wash my hands to have dinner, or just to wash my hands, the warm water would feel like it was scalding my skin because my skin was so sensitive from sanding all day. But I also had a lot more to sand back then. But this scraping technique works really well, and I don't have sensitive skin after. That's also why I use these to sand. So that way I'm not putting my skin behind it and pushing and making my skin all sensitive. Besides getting rid of the lines, the sanding also helps with paint adhesion because there's more surface area for the paint to grab onto when it's all stuffed up. And I don't know how old the child is that's going to be painting this, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to be using acrylics. So that sticks really well when it's sanded. I haven't tested the head yet. But I'm pretty sure it fits. Yeah, so it's kind of snug, but once I push it all the way in there, it shouldn't come back out. The last time I printed this was 5 years ago. So I feel like there were some things I needed to correct, and I did topologize this. Originally it wasn't. So maybe after I finish this, I'm gonna do another one where I put it in the character pose of this character. I guess the pose that it's known for. I think it's kind of like leaning over to the side and being all judgy, I think. That was another suggestion I got from somebody who didn't order one. So when I designed this 5 years ago, I painted everything with paint brushes back then. Now I kind of use an airbrush, though I think parts of this would still need to be paintbrushed because it's thin little belts and stuff like suspenders. Really hard to see that, huh? I guess the light that I'm using to be able to see the lines in real life kind of blow it out in for the camera. But yeah, he has little suspenders. That's still going to have to be painted with a brush. But my point was, when I made this 5 years ago, because I knew everything was going to be brush painted and it's difficult to have a steady hand, I made all of the pieces stick out. So like his eyes stick out and his eyebrows stick out, so that it's easier to separate the face color from the eye color and the pupil color and the eyebrow color. I also had somebody else ask me to make other characters from this this show, but they also were just asking me to do it so that they can see them, I guess. There's no interest in having it, so I didn't really bother. But this latest person was nice, and they said they really wanted one for their daughter, so. I always print things in white because it's easier to paint on it. It's hard to color light colors on darker plastic, so I usually just print everything in white. And sometimes, not sometimes, but when I do paint, I use primer, and I try to stick to white primer unless I know it's going to be a darker thing. Then I'll use like gray or darker primer. But I think the child painting this will probably just use a straight yellow, which is fine because that's what I did with the original one, and I'll show you that one in a little bit. It's upstairs in Nina's room, and she should be sleeping by now. It's 9:30, and she has school tomorrow. a little arm on there. And once they're both ready, I'll glue them on with some cyanacrylic glue, crazy glue, and a little bit of baking powder there to fill up any gaps and also make it really strong. It's really too bad they don't want me to paint this. I think I would have had fun painting it again. Airbrushing it since the last time it was with a regular paintbrush, but they wanted to paint it themselves. I think this should be good. Tomorrow I'll show you the one that I did for Nina 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I'm not too sure. I think it might be 6 years ago. Well, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow I'll show you Nina's painted one. I wish I could paint this one, but I think it'll be more fun for them. Or maybe it'll be more fun for me, I don't know. Here I have the one that I painted about 6 years ago. And painted it with a paintbrush. Oh, it's dirty. And this is the one that I made last night. You just have to wrap it up and send it. Sending the little figurine cost $5.80 or something around there. And I sold it without painting for $10, which altogether is not very much for the amount of sanding and stuff. But maybe if I remake this guy in the correct pose, maybe I should get some licensing for it, because I don't know how that works. And then maybe I can make a silicone like copy of it, then like for casting, then maybe it'll be worth it. But definitely didn't make too much money off of this print. And I guess that's it. So that's the end of this video. I might make it look cuter, put it back up on Reddit and see what happens.